Thank you, Bill. He represented the Stars and Stripes in the 1956 and 1960 Olympic Winter Games, but these days he's enjoying life on Seabrook Island.
Ian Silver sat down with former Olympic alpine skier Tom Corcoran tonight and tells us how he did with his big shot against the world's best.
You can't go through something like that without it affecting you, and it affects you very positively, I think.
An effect that has lasted 50 years.
For me, I did the best I could. I mean, I skied a good race. I didn't make big mistakes. I skied within myself. I skied as well as I could possibly ski.
Tom Corcoran began skiing when he was only 4 or 5 years old. By the time he was 24, he had been granted leave from the Navy to compete in the 1956 Olympic Games in Cortina, Italy, in the slalom and giant slalom. He didn't do so well that first time, but 4 years later, he was back at Squaw Valley, California, and he was ready.
I did my best. That was the culmination of my career. I was 9th in the slalom, but more importantly, I was 4th in the giant slalom, starting 24th, and that was the best placing for an American in that event, men's event, until Bodie Miller got a silver medal in 2002 in the Olympics.
He missed getting a medal by about half a second. But things were different then, not like today. They didn't have crews to maintain the snow, so that the course was exactly the same for the last starter as it was for the first starter.
If I'd had the chance to run earlier, within the top 15, I felt in my own heart, and still do, I would have gotten a medal, and maybe I would have won it, because I was skiing with the best at that point in time. There wasn't anybody that was any better than I was.
He may have come up short, but he says it doesn't matter. Nothing, he says, can replace the honor of being able to represent your country on the biggest athletic stage in the world.
You feel a sense of responsibility, and it's very emotional. I can almost cry thinking about it. It's a very emotional thing.
While Tom never won an Olympic medal, he did win multiple international championships and even appeared on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Back to you.
It amazes me sometimes when you find out who your neighbors are.
No kidding, right here in our own backyard. After his racing career ended, Corcoran opened his own ski resort in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire, before retiring here on Seabrook Island.
Corcoran says he thinks this year's Olympic team is the best skiing team the United States has ever put together.
Well, you might, but don't do it. We've got our eyes on it.
You never know what he has up his sleeve.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot, Brad. Now, in the second half hour of our Fox News at 10, a local Olympian. He represented the Stars and Stripes in the 1956 and 1960 Olympic Winter Games, but these days, he's enjoying life on Seabrook Island.
Ian Silver met former Olympic alpine skier Tom Corcoran tonight. Ian, he joins us live in the news center. Ian, did Mr. Corcoran ever win a medal?
No, unfortunately, Tom came up just about a half second short of winning a medal. He raced in the slalom and giant slalom events, both of which have been historically dominated by Europeans. In 1956, he was given leave from the U.S. Navy to compete in the games in Cortina, Italy, but he says he didn't do too well that first time. Tom says it's really too overwhelming for most athletes when they compete in their first Olympics with all the pressure and the pomp and circumstance. But he says he had much better luck in his second Olympics in Squaw Valley here in the States.
I did my best. That was the culmination of my career. I was 9th in the slalom, but more importantly, I was 4th in the giant slalom, starting 24th, and that was the best placing for an American in that event, men's event, until Bodie Miller got a silver medal in 2002 in the Olympics.
Now, after the Olympics, Tom went on to open a ski resort in Waterville Valley, New Hampshire. That became a major spot in the world alpine skiing circuit. He also has served as president for the main governing body of the U.S. ski team for many years. Kiki and Raphael, Tom told me he thinks this U.S. ski team at these Olympics in Vancouver is the best team our country has ever sent to an Olympic Games. And with multiple medals already only halfway through the games, he says they're giving us plenty to cheer about.
I think Tom knows what he's talking about.
I
Thanks
guess
a
so.
lot, Ian.